get that all formulated, they'll present that to the chairman, and that'll be the official role of the convention. And I'll tell you, you can't vote on anything until that role is accepted. So once in a while, I've seen somebody make a motion and we've actually voted on it, so it's, whoa, 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 no, you can't do that, because we haven't accepted the role yet.
And I absolutely believe there will be some challenges to seating certain delegations. So that'll have to all be settled. And that may be some contention in there, so.
Yeah. How many of you in this room are a delegate? Okay. Alternates? A few? Okay. If you haven't paid your delegate or alternate fee, if you intend to go, then you can pay that online, just so you know that. And as long as you've paid it before we start, you should be good to go. Maria?
Do you know when, at what point in the convention, the delegates to the national convention are going to be elected or chosen?
That is not on this very rough draft because it's very, very vague on the one that I have. But what we did 4 years ago, on the one 4 years ago, on Saturday, we did the committee reports. Let me just go through the beginning and start at the beginning if I can. On Thursday, we'll have the central committee meet, and the chairman will present the temporary role, the committee assignments, and the committee chairs. And
Yes, question.
I'm sorry.
Quick question, I thought your delegate fee had to be paid at your convention, district convention. So you can't go online to pay it now.
Well, actually, they do have it set up that you can go online, and in the manual, it instructs the district chairman to get delegate fees the day of the convention. It didn't happen that way for all of the districts, and so there is no rule saying that you have to pay it by a certain time. So I would encourage you to get it in as soon as you can.
If you haven't, you better get it in. I mean, that's going to be a point of contention, Pete, because in the way that I read the rule, there's no rule that states that. However, what the chairman says is that it's a regulation because it's in the manual. I don't go along with that. I don't believe that.
We've never enforced that before.
It's never been enforced before, and I really don't think it should be enforced now. So that may be a point that will come up in the central committee as well. But in the past, they've accepted it right up until the point people walk in the front door. And with that precedent, I don't know how in the world that can go that way, because it has not been clear. In cases, we have found that in some cases, even the people that were running the conventions, the district conventions, were not made, the manual was not made available to them to be able to even determine what the proper procedure was for holding the district conventions. So, there's a lot of confusion on that. That'll probably be a very hard-fought little deal in the central committee.
Well, I don't want to disagree with you too much, but I actually recall being at a convention where the credentials committee, they were not approving people who had not prepaid before that day.
And there were others that were. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah,
There
it's kind of
has
been
been no consistency, in my opinion. I'm not arguing with you. It's a problem, and it's something that needs to be addressed, because in some cases, frankly, from my conversations with some of the people that ran district conventions, one in particular, said they were told by someone in the office they didn't have to pay till they got to the convention. Now, if that's the case, how then could we disqualify those people or anyone else who didn't do that? I don't know how we could do that. I'm gonna advocate one way. I don't know how that'll prevail, but if you haven't paid, get it in, for crying out loud, otherwise you don't have a chance.
And you know what? If you are duly elected by your district convention to be a delegate or an alternate, I'm all about seating you at the state convention. If you meet the qualifications, you're a Republican, you were there, you got elected, you paid your delegate fee before we started, you show up. Hey, great, welcome. And we say we want more people involved, and I really believe that. I do. I know Ralph does. So that's how we're gonna.
I'm not a lawyer. I played one in the Senate a little bit. I'm not a lawyer. I've written a few laws. But what I will tell you is there's nothing in our rules that says that manual is a regulation and needs to be followed. And without that in the rules, I don't know how that can be enforced. Yes.
Is this when we check birth certificates?
Well, I found out I really didn't have to have one, and it was okay to have one that's forged. So,
You should bring proof that you're a registered Republican. They'll have a voter list there, but if you have your voter card, look for it in the depths of your purse or your wallet and bring that with you if you can, please. And then on Thursday, the 26th, there will be a central committee meeting, and we will go over, at that meeting, we'll approve the temporary role of the convention, approve the convention agenda, assign delegates from the temporary role to the committees, and including the chairman for those committees, and prepare special reports. We've never prepared a special report as far as I can remember.
For the uninitiated, who sits on and who appoints the central committee?
Who appoints the central committee? That's a great question.
Who
Okay,
put?
the central committee is made up of the state party chairman, the state vice chair, secretary, assistant secretary, treasurer, assistant treasurer. Now,
and Debbie and I.
and Ralph and I. And all of those people are elected at state convention except the treasurer
Last
and the
convention.
assistant treasurer who are appointed by the state chair.
Last convention.
And the other people on the central committee are the district chairman from each of the 40 districts and a bonus vote from every district that has a Republican in the House. And there are a few other positions. I believe there's, I want to say 7 finance chairs. They're all appointed by the chairman.
So
So all the
regional
district
Chairs.
chairs.
Uh-huh. Yeah, district chairs, and if you have a Republican in the House, your district has
Gets two.
2 votes
Good.
there. Okay, so those are the people that'll get together and do those things ahead of the convention. And then Thursday evening, there's some sort of a little reception mixer thing, chance to meet other people and chat with friends and kind of make plans for how you want things done. Before I forget, I want to say one more thing, and that is we talked about what if your chairman isn't at the state convention and somehow you had a rules change or a platform plank change at your district convention and you're worried it's not there. It should have been sent in by your district secretary. I have chaired subcommittee of the platform committee, and I've had countless instances where somebody brings me something that got passed at their convention and somehow it didn't make it in. Sometimes it's because it was on the back of a napkin or a piece of scratch paper and nobody recognized it as what it was supposed to be because it didn't come in on the proper form. But I know I always accepted all those things and let my committee consider all those. If you have something that's really burning on your heart, bring a copy of it with you just in case it didn't make it through.
Shouldn't those motions all be in the minutes? I mean, because I know when I went back home and I had to send my stuff in, I went back into the minutes just to double check to make sure everything that was recorded that passed was in fact included. And in fact, it was, well, I'm a chairman, so it was my job to put this.
It should be.
In fact, it was a good thing I did because there was one that was on the back, I don't want to say on the back of a napkin, but
Close to it, yeah.
pretty close.
I seen ketchup stains, you name it.
Back of an
But, you know,
envelope.
it's not
Every
necessarily
motion
that your
should be
district
recorded in
didn't do
minutes.
it.
Right.
And it may be in your minutes, your district may have sent it in, but, you know, they're getting information from 40 different districts, and maybe it got lost at the office, maybe it got lost on the way to hotel. I'm just saying to make sure, if it's really important to you, bring a copy of it. That's
Yeah.
all.
So each district chair should bring a copy to the central committee meeting.
I think that would be good.
That would be.
That would be good. So then, okay, we have the mixer, and then the next morning, Friday morning, the registration is open. It's open on Thursday too. So you get there, if you come in on Thursday, you can go and register. They'll give you a name tag and hopefully your committee assignment and all that. And then you can also do that Friday morning. And I believe he has,
By the way, I'm not an appointed referee, nor is Debbie, but I am not on a committee.
oh, I know I'm on.
And so if there is a question while you're in committee and you have something that's really burning and you think I can possibly help you get an answer, we will be there. And you can try to tap into us. I'm not going to be on a committee, but I'll be there. And I generally am pretty good at answering most questions. And we'll have the rules and everything else that are available. So if you have a question like that, please try to use it.
Okay, I'm looking at the very vague draft agenda that's out for this year, and it says 7:30 a.m. on Friday buffet breakfast, 8 o'clock general meeting call to order. I will be so amazed if we call to order at 8 o'clock, because the Credentials Committee is probably still checking people in, and we will need for them to do that. They can do some things like, they call to order, and we can have the flag song, the Pledge of Allegiance, and introduce a few people and do a little fluffy things like that. We just can't vote.
Governor will probably be there.
Yeah, that sort of thing will happen. And then we'll have a lunch, and then after the lunch, we'll break into committees. And the different committees will be, as far as I know, these are the ones that are usually there. There's a Finance Committee, it's not very well attended, nobody wants to go to that one. There's Nominations Committee that will probably mostly be working on the question of national delegates, and a Rules Committee that will look at the rules changes that have come in from the districts. And then there's going to be platform committees. There's the whole platform, but it's divided up into subsections, and those are constitutional rights, national defense, jobs and the economy, natural resources, judiciary and crime, education, family and health. There's also a communications committee. If you haven't told your district chair yet which committee you want to be on, you should do that. And generally speaking, the chairman will take their choice of either the nominations or the rules committee, and they'll assign somebody else that they really trust in their district to take the other one. So those are kind of coveted spots, and it's usually up to the chairman to decide who those people are. And you could be one of those people, but more of us will be probably working on the platform and some of those things. We'll break into the committees. We'll do committee work on Friday. Then there will be a reception, or receptions plural, and then a dinner. And the dinner will get done 9:30, and then, depending on what committee you're on, your committee may choose to go ahead and meet again Friday night and continue the work.
Yeah, point of information. What's the limit on committees?
What do you mean the limit?
For you to be on a
Choices,
committee?
the Constitution Committee?
How many can you
Resource
be
Committee?
on?
How many can you?
You really can only go to one committee.
One committee, that's it.
You can only be in one place at
They
one
all meet
time.
at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're all meeting at the same time.
So you gotta
Friday
make up your mind,
afternoon.
Frank.
Yeah. And then on Saturday morning, there's a breakfast, and it says the general meeting convenes. Sometimes on Saturday morning, some committees are not done, and they may continue to meet for a while. Sometimes they'll continue to meet, one or two committees may, while the rest of the body considers the reports from the other committees. So what happens is this: when all those little committees get together, and I'll use one of the platform committees as an example, they'll get together, and the chair of that committee will, if he's doing the right way, he'll assign somebody or find somebody in that group to be the secretary for that committee, who will take the minutes for that meeting. And then you'll go through all of those suggested platform changes and amendments and discuss those and vote on those. And then when that committee's done, they will give all of that to whoever is in charge of the entire platform committee. And then I've seen it done both ways. Usually the subcommittee chairman, like the person that's in charge of judiciary and crime, will go up and give their report. Mr. Chairman, these are the changes that our committee has worked on, and hopefully they're up on the screen. It's nice if we can have written copies too for people. And then he'll ask for the whole body to accept that report. There may be amendments that get offered on that, and we may have some discussion on that. We'll vote to accept or amend or reject that report. Did I miss something here? I saw that look. Did I miss something, Ann? No. Did I miss something? Okay. Okay. I thought maybe I missed something. Okay. So if you're in a committee and you don't like the way it goes, you have some issue that you wanted passed or stopped, and it didn't happen the way you wanted it to, you'll get another chance at it on the floor. And when the platform planks come out, you'll get to see those again. You'll get a chance again to